Hey everyone, so now I'm going to be doing a response to Misty over at the Book Rats book chat on movie adaptations. And this is really interesting sort of book chat because obviously so many books get made into movies and some of them just really fall flat. But what bugs me sometimes is the way that people will go see a movie and not know it's a book. And I know it's really sort of stupid, but that's how I feel, like it should be known. Also, it's quite risky making movies out of well-loved books because fans of them will just tear it apart if they don't put something in or something's not just how it should be. Fans know, and so it's quite risky in that respect. Some obviously really fall flat, and that can be really disappointing for people. I know it is for me when I go see a movie. I still futilely hope that it's going to be awesome, and most of the time they're okay. A few movie adaptations that I actually really like. Well, this is a mini-series, but it's North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, and one of my favourites ever is The Princess Bride by William Gilman. I like this because it feels like the movie has been made by fans of this movie, and even though not everything's in it or some things are a little different, it feels very much like they're fans and it stays true to the book and the feel of it is very much the same, if that makes any sense at all. I also like quite a few of the Jane Eyre adaptations. Trying to think now, what other movies? Oh, it's also really rare for me to like the movie over the book. That hardly ever happens, but in one instance, that is Nicholas Sparks' A Walk to Remember. I don't like all of his books, but I really like A Walk to Remember, and I watched the movie and I was like, actually, I really like the movie more. Even like they changed it. It's like set 50 years, different, set in modern time and not like 50 years ago. And I really liked it. I thought it was done really well. And even though obviously not everything was true to the book, it felt better done than the book. I also get quite nervous when I find out that some of my favourite books are being made into movies. I'm like, oh, are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And then they tend to not do any of that. But I think what makes movie adaptations fail sometimes is that in a book you read all about this character, you know their inner thoughts, you watch their actions, so you know this, and reading it is kind of personal. You know these characters, and if you really like a book, then you really love the characters, and then you see them portrayed on screen, and you go, "That's not them at all. What have you done to this person?" That's my feeling anyway. Also, I think directors and producers play a huge part in it. Some are really respectful to the book and go, well, we need to stay true to this book. Others just look at the book and think, well, we'll put that in there, but they just use it as a guideline almost, which is awful, really. Some poor adaptations. Let me think. The example that immediately springs to mind is Twilight, which is I read the Twilight books. They were the first sort of paranormal YA books that got me into that whole genre. Before that, I was reading historicals and contemporary. But I really liked them, and then I found out there was a movie, and I was like, oh, this would be interesting. And I went, and it was they left out so much important stuff. I was like, oh my god. The later ones have obviously been a bit more true to the book, so they're a bit better. But I'm trying to think of a better example. Oh, The Princess Diaries. I loved those books when I was younger. They were the first books that got me into reading with Princess Diaries, and then Disney made a film, and I was like, I love Disney. This is gonna be great. Book it was completely different. It was almost a whole different entity, and I was amazingly disappointed with that. And they also desecrated another Meg Cabot book. They made Avalon High, yeah, Avalon High into. It is Avalon High. Just checking. Yeah, Avalon High. They made that into a Disney Channel movie, and it was awful, absolutely awful. They changed like the fundamental bits of the book. They even changed the main character's friggin' name. That, as you can see, that is a very sore point for me. And now I'm losing my voice. Yeah. movie adaptations are risky. They're not always popular. Um, some stay amazingly true and are very accurate, but that's rare. More often than not, they're awful adaptations of books, and the books 9 times out of 10 are always better. Um, that's my personal feeling, and in my experience, that's how it's been. I tend to not like the movie as much as I like the book. I have only recently watched Red Riding Hood, and I have the book of that on my shelf, but I haven't read that yet. So I can't judge that. But most of the time, I prefer the book over the movie, as I think is the case with most people, or at least most bookish people, anyway. So thanks to Misty over at the Book Rat for this great book chat, and I look forward to all the others. So